I'd like to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum, with the exception of the chairman, Scott Friedman, who is in Austin on Water District business. Notice is hereby given of a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the district to be held at 105 Port Road, Port Isabel, Texas, on the 12th day of September 2018 at the hour of 5:30 p.m. for consideration of the business of the agenda below. This notice is posted at the office of the district on September 7th, 2018 at 2 p.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551-041, 551-050, not less than 72 hours prior to the time of said meeting. Could we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Carlos, could you give us an invocation, please?
Yes, sir. And Father, we thank you again for the time and opportunity that you have provided for us, that we come together and meet and do district business. And as we go through each agenda item, Lord, we just ask you to give us knowledge and wisdom and open our eyes and our ears to hear better and make all decisions correctly and to the best of our knowledge. Again, we thank you in Jesus' name. We pray, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a couple public hearings here. Number 3, public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2018-2019 ad valorem tax rate. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to come up and speak on this?
I think that would be extended to board and staff.
Okay, extend that to board and staff.
I don't see anybody. Move
Okay,
on.
moving on. Number 4, public hearing on the water, wastewater, raw water rates and financial plan. Anybody that wants to come up and speak? Board? Well, that was simple. Okay.
Twice, yeah.
Invitation to the, number 5, invitation to the audience for public comments. Okay. Moving right along. Consider and discuss for possible approval the minutes of the workshop meeting and regular meeting on August 22nd, 2018. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by D. Wells, second by Alex Avalos. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Consider and discuss for possible approval the minutes of the special meeting on August 28th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we had a motion by Mr. Houston, second by Alex Avalos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion passes unanimously. Huh?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
You're doing good.
That special meeting lasted 30 seconds. Okay, number 8, General Manager's Report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the board. September the 26th, at the next board meeting, there will be a presentation by the Texas Counties and Districts Retirement System, which we were supposed to have last month, but we canceled it for some reasons. So they're coming back to discuss the retirement system and, of course, especially the unfunded liabilities, and any questions that you all might have, bring them up at that time, so be prepared. We will have the agenda items by the 21st, Friday the 21st, so there might be attachments in there with the retirement system that we have.
Mr. Governor, how long do you anticipate their presentation to be? I
It's-
asked just
Uh-huh.
in case we need to work the agenda around to accommodate lengthy, or if it's going to be very long.
No, I requested like a 10-minute information unless the board has more questions. You know, that would be the most time for the board asks any questions.
I would just,
But it'd be
I
simple.
would just ask that question of them, if we need to give them more time, figure out where to stick it.
Okay, and by the 21st, I think we can figure something out. If they have more time,
Thank you.
we'll add another 5 minutes. But it shouldn't be that long. Okay, and the next one that I have here is a water quality report, that there was a concerned citizen on that one. We did add an attachment to that one where we responded. This response will be added to our newspaper, so the public can see, and we need to be more transparent where the public needs to know that our drinking water is safe to drink. It's regulated by TCQ and the EPA, and if they haven't stopped us from treating water, that means everything seems to, it's okay to drink the water, unless if there's a stop where they tell us to stop treating water because it's unsafe, then that's a different story there. That's when we had notified the public, say, okay, you need to find another resource or boil the water if it's in the worst condition. They tend to go to boil water notices. But at this time, I'd like to say that since we installed the microfiltration in 2014, the water has we've made it more safe, better quality for our customers, and it's even way better tasting than before. And violations have ended. At that time, 2014, I believe there was notices back then, but those notices are not valid anymore. We're in 2018 going on 19, and the water quality is way better off. That's all I can say for right now. If there's any other questions that the public might have, as they see the video, call me up.
I'm sorry, I think there were some references in the comments made at our last meeting was reference to maybe some notices that the district sent out, so.
Right.
So I think that, I can't tell you what they were, but certainly want to make they're clear and concise.
Okay.
But you mentioned that you were going to go ahead and put this in a local paper, or are you going to
Correct,
put it,
the
or
local-
put this,
local paper.
or do a mail out, or?
It's a local paper, a letter to the editor, they recommend it, so we don't have to pay, and then we're gonna have it in our website.
I think,
Included with the bill.
Yeah, included with the bill.
yeah, I
can
think that's
do
a
that.
good idea, because the 10 people to read the paper, we probably want to reach more people.
Oh, yes, right. So,
Put it on the website.
And I will-
My suggestion is, take what you have in this letter or polish it up, and start with the second to last paragraph where it says that Laguna Mita Water District has been recognized as a superior water system, et cetera, et cetera.
right,
Start off with the PowerPoint, the point that's powerful.
right
And
on. Yes, sir.
Then, they're gonna read that first, and then they're gonna read the boring stuff maybe,
Maybe
and
not.
then finish up with positive
Okay.
finish. That's my
Got
recommendation.
it. Then I'll put my name in there. If they need to contact me or call me for any other questions, I'm available.
Mr. Galvan,
Yes, sir.
will it have, when we post this on the website, will it have that link there that they can just click on that and it'll go to that Texas site?
I believe we can. We can do that.
Okay.
There's no issues
That would be
with
great.
that. So, and that's all I have for that, and it'll be, like I said, posted several areas of the local media.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for putting it together, but I was struck at the last meeting where this Stephanie Wilson, she was a concerned mom. She said, when is our water going to be safe to drink?
Oh,
And, she had an autistic son, and I said, whoa, there's some information that's out there that needs to be corrected, and we got to do something better. But for this mom to think that the water, I think she was especially referencing her school, wasn't safe for the students to drink, it's,
I believe she might have gotten one of those notices from 2014 or before that, and we need to clarify that and make sure
Yes.
that they understand that we're 2018 and there's no violations since 2014.
thank you.
There were, okay.
Going on to number 9, Director of Finance, Eddie.
So this was a follow-up to a request from board member Houston requesting numbers on the comparison between financing the water meter project or paying it out of fund balance. In the prior meeting, I had brought to you what the fund balance was. It was sufficient to finance the meter project. But the question should be, is that a good choice? I mean, is that a prudent decision to spend, almost half of our fund balance on the water meter project? So this, that you have included in your packet is a comparison of what are the numbers involved with borrowing versus paying that ourselves. Do you have any questions?
I have one. I appreciate you building the watch, but what time is it? You know, the question was, you know, what does it cost us, the district, to finance the meter project? That cost minus if we paid for it cash or part of it in cash, what savings might there be?
Okay, the savings would be at the bottom of, on column F, on your table that you received, column F, you have here the difference. So we would save $206,000.
We save $206,000.
Correct.
And that would be the full payment, and then
That would be using cash, yes.
and the same thing represented in column S. And then is that R?
So basically.
Actually, column O is, you know,
That would be what we could earn if we invested that money.
the T, the T column, 36,000 change, 36,775. So you got that, well, we invested that money where it is now, but if we use that money to pay for the meters, we would save $206,544.
Yes.
And then you gave us this number over here that, you know, thank you for bringing it up, that, you know, had we invested, we could make 36,000 on at the same time. So, can you tell me?
The annual interest earnings is a column P. You're making about 69,000 in the first year, 64,000 is what we're projecting. We're running interest numbers out very far in advance, so we have to kind of estimate
Some
what
assumption.
we think that they would be.
So it costs us $3,468,000 to finance it?
No, that's what we could, that's what we would be making if we had this money.
Earning
stream.
interest.
Earning,
Earning interest.
we could make $3 million.
No.
No.
That would be the total of cash that we would be holding on to.
Can I jump in here?
Please.
I love your analogy of building a clock, building a watch. It's simple. The real simple, the system is going to cost what, about $2 million? Massameda, just close, 2.5? All right. But the total debt service over the period of years, interest and principal is 3.5, right? So there's $1 million spread there. And if you want to subtract them from that, the value of the monies of unearned income, okay? And to me, that's a whole lot more than $200,000. If you got $1 million spread, you see where I'm going with this? I mean, you've got a lot of columns here, and I know you've done a lot of work.
Well, I mean, you need to also take into account the time value of money.
Well, I know the time value, yes, I understand, you've done all that, but for a simple guy like me, I can go to the car dealership and I can pay $2.5 million today, or over a period of 10 years, I can pay $3.5 million for that same car. And I got the $2.5 million in my bank account. I gotta wonder, why the hell am I incurring an extra $1 million of cost that I don't have to incur?
Well, I can answer that, because you want to improve your credit rating.
We got a great credit rating.
Well, we did, we wouldn't be paying 3% interest.
No, I think that's going to be.
You know, and that's what you're, you know, that was what I was trying to, address the last time, is I agree with you that, yeah, you save all this money. I have the habit of doing that myself. I like paying cash because I like saving money. But at the same time, this is not my money, and to begin with. And the other thing is that if we want a better credit rating and to be borrowing money at 1.5 or 1.7, you're not going to do it with the credit rating we have. We have to improve that over
I think
time.
we have a good credit rating already. That can be another conversation at a time if we can to see, but my understanding.
Well, I think
we
it's
have a
I think
very
it's the
good
perfect
credit rating.
conversation to have, because that's what, I mean, from my perspective, that's what I'm
But
trying
you
to
can also
improve, is the
impact your credit-
finances.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but you can downgrade your credit rating by incurring more debt. So it's kind of catch-22. You're trying.
And the other thing is, how long is it going to take you to make up that $2.5 million you just spent?
Well, last year, we put like $300,000 into our reserves. If we did that.
2.2, or 220,000. It wasn't
Whatever,
300,000.
I thought it was like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me back up. We don't want to borrow money just to improve our credit rating. That's not our business.
No, we want to save the money we
That's
have to
right.
improve
So
our credit
We have
rating.
the opportunity to
Yeah.
save $1 million here.
We have the
And
opportunity.
if you keep in mind,
Yeah.
we're going to use our cash anyway on a short-term basis to pay for it till we get another loan. Correct?
Well,
So, I mean-
we have operating money for that. We're not gonna, I don't think we necessarily have to take it out of our
We're taking it
reserves.
out of our reserves. We don't have $2 million just floating around. We're taking it out of the big bank account, okay,
We're borrowing it.
from ourselves. In the short term, we're using our money until we get the loan money.
Correct.
All I'm saying is, why are we spending $1 million when we don't have to? We're comfortable in our reserve position right now.
Yeah, I think we got good reserves.
And we
and-
need to go ahead and take the conversation further, and the whole hesitancy in doing that is just because of our reserve balance and our emergency fund. So that can be addressed in further conversation. I like this conversation that we're discussing, to certainly not be spending anything we don't have to. This information is really helpful to me when I understand it.
Yeah, but it's not a whole $1 million. Remember that 350,000 you're gonna get back, because it's the last payment on that loan is just basically held in reserve. So it's the 2.5 plus that last payment that's held in reserve. So, more or less, if you just want, without taking into account the time value of money and inflation, you're looking at the interest that you're paying versus the interest that you're earning, and those two numbers, column E and column N, they're much closer to each other.
I think Robert wants to say something, Rick.
There is a couple other factors that need to be taken into consideration. One is that by taking $2.5 million out of the fund balance, that will drop our debt ratio. If we, for any reason, would have to borrow in the next 3 or 4 years, if our debt ratio is too low, we're not going to be able to borrow. That's one. The other is, if we do have any kind of a disaster and we need the cash, because a lot of this is, the fund balance is, it includes, I'm trying to think here, some of the.
Emergency.
I don't see how your debt ratio is going to be lowered if you pay cash. Your debt ratio gets lowered if you borrow in excess of what you should be borrowing.
But you take into consideration your debt ratio is your cash, your assets, which you will not have $2.5 million. And by your total debt that you owe, which will lower because right now you have a certain amount of liability. You have $5.5 million or $5 million in the bank. When you compare that to your assets, your debt ratio is higher.
Well, I think
But
that's
if you take $2.5 million from there, it's gonna be lower.
I think that's, if we continue this conversation, then we need to have our bond
Exactly.
agent
That's
in
what I
here.
was-
Of course,
Yeah.
he wants us to borrow it because he gets a big chunk out of the money out of it.
Well, we're still gathering information.
Yes,
On all
exactly.
this. And so,
And I agree with you, though, that if we are gonna proceed down this path, we need the financial advisor to come in and
yeah,
give us
but it's still a
some
simple
input.
question.
Yeah.
And I'd still like to have a simple answer, is what does it cost? What do we save?
But you're also asking him to consider also paying part of it and financing part of it as well, right?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I think we can, I don't want to muck that up. It's just kind of a,
I thought I heard you say that, and that's why I
that
meant.
would be a consideration, I just said,
Okay.
we may have that an option, we can do anything we wanted, we can
So-
take, it's just like we finance less, we just pay more down and finance less.
Right.
I can agree with Mr. Houston that, do we want to take and spend $1 million if we don't have to? For whatever period of time, and I don't know, you're having to speculate or project what interest rates are, et cetera, et cetera. And one thing we haven't discussed here now is that when we signed on with the meter system it was sold to us on a savings program, and we're supposed to get some, a lot of significant savings from that program.
Is this a floating rate?
No.
No.
It's a
No.
fixed
No,
rate.
It's a fixed rate.
It's a fixed rate on the meters.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm open to the idea of looking into possibly financing part of it, as you mentioned, but I think we need to get some financial opinions on that, because,
Well, I would like to know what's in the best interest of the district of financial responsibility, and you said, but that is really our burden or charge and duty up here, certainly not to run the district, but it's a financial responsibility of the
yeah,
district.
yeah, I'm looking at it strictly from the fiduciary part, from that viewpoint, and I'm saying, I would rather go to the voters when I need 10 or 15 million dollars. I would rather go with some cash in hand as opposed to just asking them for
Well, we
everything.
have policies in place that kind of give us some guidelines for emergency funds needed available, and then we can discuss that later. Do we need 12 months, 6 months, or what do we need to feel comfortable with that? But,
I think 6 months
I can't
would be
deny
adequate.
the fact that $1 million could go a long ways to improve our district, pay our people, and buying some trucks that are falling apart.
Well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, then let's talk about that.
It's to
Let's
spend
yeah.
$1 million or spend X amount of dollars financing. Or we suck it up and say, this is what we can save, and then allocate that in our future expenditures.
And just as a little note, it's not for 10 years, it's for 15 years, so.
Well, we discussed earlier, and I've always said, I think you said also, that on this meter program, and I haven't asked, I don't understand this payment plan, there's no prepayment penalty, is there?
It's for 10 years, sir.
Is
It's
it-
It is 10 years?
Schedule right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
10 years.
There is an early payment penalty?
No.
There's,
No,
I
not
think
that
we
I'm
put in
aware.
a callable option at how many years?
5 or so?
I think it was 5 years. It was 5 years. We could call it in for,
Pay it off.
Well, Eddie, if I were your finance professor, I would give you an A+ on your presentation, an F on your,
For us.
of the ability for everybody else to understand it, okay?
Yeah.
But,
You need to get down in dirt with Mr. John Wells and keep it
Yes,
that
yes.
simple.
Yeah, on the, using cash, the pros would be, we would save 206,000. The cons would be bringing down our liquidity, so from 5 million in the bank unrestricted to lowering that to 2.5. And why would we want to borrow? We would want to borrow, the pros would be, we preserve that liquidity, so for an emergency, right, a rainy day, in case of a storm, that's a big concern for us here on the coast. And then why we wouldn't would be that 206,000.
You know, let me throw this in, you know, I think we've all been on the South Pine Ground and board at one time or another, and we were all always sold that idea that we had to keep the money, had to keep the money, had to keep the money. But let me tell you what, the feds are the first to step up to municipalities to start giving you money after a hurricane or something like that.
Extending
credit.
Extending money.
So, I mean, it's not like if we didn't have the money in the bank, we'd all die and wouldn't have clean water, okay? So let's be realistic as to what would actually happen. The money would be available to us.
Yeah, they are not as quick to pay though as you think.
I never said they were quick.
And I do agree that they would not leave us hanging, but by the same token, that doesn't take away from our responsibility to have that fiduciary responsibility to the voters, you know, to the taxpayers, the people that make this happen. That's how I'm approaching it. You know, it's not that I don't like saving money. Of course I like saving money. That's why I pay cash, like you're suggesting. But in my experience, it hasn't given me the leverage that I want. Because when I go borrow something, you know, they want to know how good my revolving credit is. You know, how much debt I have, and that calculates into how much they'll lend me and how they'll lend me
Fund
money.
balance is an important measure
Yeah.
of financial
Yeah,
health.
but
So
I
when
don't-
somebody's thinking
Yeah,
about lending
absolutely.
us money,
I don't-
fund balance is one of the first
And
things. that
and
we
a
look at.
6-month fund
I don't
balance
see
is,
your personal example as an analogy for the municipality.
My whole point is that-
It's an
my whole point
example,
is-
but it's not apple to apple.
I understand that, and I'll accept that. But it still does not take away from our responsibility of having
I would
cash on hand.
recommend that if the board wants to proceed and look into it further, we get our financial advisors and bond counsel
Yeah.
Maybe
and
have
possibly
workshop.
our auditor to come in and explain.
I think that
That'd
would
be
be
pretty fair.
wise, just kind of keeping it focused on what we're talking about now, right now, just for meter projects.
Okay.
To kind of explore that. I don't want to open up any additional expenditures to the district if there would be to do that. If we can get their input, that would be helpful
Mhm.
for me.
Okay.
But
I
I
agree.
don't want to take and be writing to somebody a check.
And it would be helpful for me too.
Explain it to me.
So,
I agree.
okay.
Thank you, Eddie.
Don't go away.
Oh, one more, got something else, huh? Oh, yeah. Number 8, 9, 10. Number 10.
Next one. Number 10, consider and discuss for possible approval of board travel to Austin, Texas for Texas Water Development Board meeting held on September 20th, 2018.
That's it.
Carlos?
Okay, on this one, Charles had requested for me to do this one for him, and it's for Scott Friedman and him, Charles Ortiz to attend. It's a meeting from the Texas Water Development Board, and our agenda on the loan is in there, so they want to go visit with them. And if there's any questions or comments or anything involved with that loan, they want to be there, but the board has to approve traveling for Mr. Scott Friedman for that one. And
So
that's all
moved.
we're requesting right there.
So move.
Second?
I have a motion by Mr. Houston, second by Mr. Avalos. Discussion?
Discussion.
Okay.
This opens up a thought I have, and in looking at the budget, and I don't see a line item for the board of directors on travel. And right now, it's lumped in, I think it's lumped in with other departments, or it's...
It's under administration.
Under
Yeah,
administration.
we get paid, or that gets paid
I'm
under
used
administration.
to, from my experience, I'm used to having kind of a set budget. And I think it would be advisable for the board members to have a set budget, not an open budget. And I would like to really encourage that travel be local if possible. I'd like to be, if we're asking the district to be frugal with expenditures, I think it's applicable for the board to be frugal with expenditures. and like 3,000 a year budgeted per board member or something like that. If there's an additional amount that has to be spent, they come to do that, but.
I think one of the ways,
Sorry, go
if I
ahead.
may, one of the things, what I'd like to do is, actually, because you and I are on the budget committee, I think that it's appropriate that we review this and just come back with a recommendation. I've read the policy. It might need a little tweaking, and we can certainly do that and come back with a recommendation to the
Bottom
board.
line is, I just like the board to be.
Yeah, and we can
held
go over all
accountable
that and,
On their travel, and I think that's only applicable to
Yeah.
us to do that, so we come up, and so I would.
And I know that,
If you say the budget, and I think that's where it needs to be, because it's gonna be
Yeah.
a line item.
yes, and
We
so,
go ahead
and in that,
discuss that.
and in that process, we can discuss the ability to be able to set aside, because have a line item, because we don't have it, so we can discuss all that, but I think the right thing to do is just have a meeting or two about it, look at the policy, amend it as necessary, and come back to the board and ask for,
Yeah, budget committee meeting.
Yeah.
We would call for it.
Yeah.
But that's only in discussion in this agenda item. We have a
Correct.
motion and a second, and that's our discussion, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Number 11, consider and discuss for possible approval of 2018-2019 insurance for health, vision, dental, and life for district employees. And I understand that Enrique and Eddie are going to speak on this. So Enrique first.
We are advertising these proposals for group health, life, dental, and vision insurance. The Insurance Committee recommendation is going with United Healthcare Option 2 with Texas Insurance according to the tabulation that you have in your package.
Wait a minute. You got, we have in our spreadsheet, both of them, we have a spreadsheet here of everybody that provided us with the district with a bid proposal for health, dental, life, and vision. And it's broken down in one of our sheets that we have. And then what you're referencing now is, an option 1 or a 2, so that's in our other sheet that we have updated, correct?
So, I think it's according to the bid tabulation, so the bid tabulation is this one in your packet, and it's the one that's labeled.
So what is the other one then? Isn't that the tabulation?
With Texas.
That our tabulation is different options they gave us just for life, vision. dental.
Right, so that's tabulation for, you advertise for health, vision, life, and dental.
Yes.
And so that one breaks it down to each of those categories on that one sheet, correct? And then the other sheet that we have, the extended one, condenses that into the different providers and the different agents, and then set up in different options that we're considering now, am I correct?
It's two tabulations because that one that you have there includes the four, health, life, vision. And
The
the
first
rest of
one-
them doesn't include health.
The first one, or the skinny one, was the report of all the bids submitted to the district. The broader one is the tabulation or combining of the different proposals submitted to the district, correct? Okay, who is the insurance committee?
Scott and I.
So you met with yourself?
Well, and staff,
Scott wasn't here, so
we have 2 meetings.
for the insurance. Okay. Thank you for answering that. Continue.
The option that we're recommending offers the same benefit that we currently have for health insurance with the out-of-network benefits, and the same benefits for vision, dental, and life insurance.
Who's going to pay the $192,656 extra?
It's, what's it?
Yeah, when you say extra, you mean over the current year's?
Well,
Is that-
between
is that what
option
you're
1 and
comparing?
option 2, or what you're proposing, you're proposing to keep it, to stay with the current provider, which is a lot more expensive. 20% increase over the current plan.
Correct.
And then option two, it's 15% less. And I read it and I understand the difference between these are, there's some perks, there's some, you know, the one has a little less amount on the deductible. There's a difference in deductibles, correct? And then there's a difference on the copay, and there's a difference on the prescription plans, et cetera. So there's variation. So Blue Cross, Shield, Dearborn National is the low proposal that we have, but they have higher deductible, higher out-of-pocket, higher change. And I can understand why staff and maybe the committee would recommend that, well, let's just pay a whole bunch more money to have a lower deductible and a little more copay for the money, but at the same time, I'm coming up with $192,656 additional to do that, and I'm struggling with that.
It shouldn't be that, it should be the difference between the 51 and the 42 times 12.
107,000.
Take these two difference, this is what they want, this is what we got.
No, that's not what I was told. Option one is not that one, the option one is over here in United Healthcare,
Without the auto.
Texas Insurance.
51, 756 a month.
The option one or the option two? Option one.
This one right here.
Right.
This is what they're wanting. This is what we got.
Well, that's, yeah, but that's last year, but now we're looking at this year.
But the difference, you're
Yeah.
talking about the difference.
No, I'm talking about the difference between United Healthcare and the low bid on
Oh, I
Blue
see. Oh,
Cross.
that difference.
Just the two bids that we have right now, there's $192,000 difference between the two for the year. Change. I took the bottom line in Texas Insurance, option two, which I understand y'all wanted, and the premium is $54,831.66 a year. And then Texas Insurance, which is Blue Cross Blue Shield Dearborn National, is $38,776.92. I took the difference between those two, came up to $16,054.74 a month, which came up to $192,656.88 for the year.
The option two is with gap coverage, basically insurance on insurance.
No.
No? Option two?
The Blue Cross Blue Shield plan.
Oh, no, that's the E.
Yeah, I come up with $107,000 difference.
Between
Current.
54,
You're comparing the current to
Yeah.
the one.
no,
that
you
we're
can't
recommending.
forget,
He's comparing the current, he's not comparing the current at all. He's comparing
Proposed.
the plan that we're recommending to the lower price.
Oh, okay.
because what we did before is irrelevant now.
Right.
It's what it's gonna cost us between the two, and so I see that we're down to, paying paying $54,000 a month or $38,000 a month. Did you ask in your proposals, was there any, I'm asking that, we have different deductibles provided. Did you ask for the same deductible for everybody?
Yes.
Or was there a deductible option for Blue Cross Blue Shield to be comparable to the deductions?
They went way up on their deductibles. Well,
Deductibles.
I've got Blue Cross and they damn near doubled mine this year.
Yeah, well.
Way up.
I know, but I'm saying, my question is, United Healthcare provided a $250 and a $500, and then Blue Cross Blue Shield is $500, $1,500.
That was the lowest deductible plan.
That was the lowest deductible that Blue Cross
Yes.
would provide.
They consider us a small employer, so we're limited with the good plans.
I need
These
to-
are the options.
I need to ask a question to somebody got an old memory like me, Mr. Govan.
Yes, sir.
As I recall, and please help me recall, that it was last year or the year before that, before this, that the district was paying X amount and the employees were paying a percentage?
No,
And
sir.
then we opted to go into 100% coverage?
I know that the employees never paid any insurance coverage.
There wasn't a participation.
And I can also remember that the district had Blue Cross Blue Shield for many years. How many, Albert? 25, 30? 20 years, until a few years back when a couple of board members that didn't want to go with the same insurance anymore, because we had it too long. But what happened at that time is costs will go up when they have a lot of claims, and then it will go down when you have less.
I understand
So
that.
we had that insurance for a long time, and then they switched over because we're paying too high at that
understand.
particular year, so they went back.
So do we have Blue Cross here?
Not right now. We went with United Healthcare
No, I'm
a few years back.
representative here.
Oh, yes.
So can you answer my
Both.
question on deductible? Is that the lowest deductible? Were y'all requested to quote a certain deductible in the proposal, either of y'all?
Well, we did, Blue Cross Blue Shield has different market segments, and you all are considered a middle market. So we just have certain plan designs available, and there's, like
Salazar.
Eddie mentioned, there are set plans, and we can't vary from what they have. So the highest benefit option that they do have starts at a $500 deductible. Then it goes all the way down
Are
to,
you Texas Insurance?
yes, sir.
So you're telling me that that's the lowest deductible the district can have is the $515?
Through Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross Blue Shield?
Yes.
Okay. So, and I understand that provided the information that you had in the category we're stuck in, that's the best you could provide, so it wasn't,
Yes, those are just the set plans that Blue Cross Blue Shield has through their market. Once we get over 100 employees, we can make some tweaks to the plans that they have, but for that under 100 market, they have set plans, that being the highest benefit available for them.
I have a question, maybe you can answer it. What is the co-pay versus co-insurance?
Co-payment is when you go in for your primary care doctor or specialist. You know, typically you're just gonna pay the co-payment, you're not gonna pay any portion of the actual services on it. So you may pay your $20 co-payment on there, have your primary care services, and move on. Now, at times when you go in for either an inpatient hospitalization, outpatient surgical, sometimes, labs that are sent outside of the office base-wide, those go towards your deductible. Once your deductible is paid, then it goes into what we consider co-insurance. Right now, your current plan has 100% co-insurance. So once you've made that deductible, the plan pays at 100% benefits on that side. When you have a percentage of co-insurance, such as 80% co-insurance, that means once you've met your deductible, in this case the $250, if the plan paid 80% co-insurance, you're responsible for 20% of that.
Right.
So that's your responsibility up until that out-of-pocket maximum. On your current plan, you do have an out-of-pocket maximum that's going to go towards all your co-payments, all your deductibles, even that nature to go towards. Once that's paid, you don't pay any co-payments whatsoever for the rest of your year.
in the interest of fairness, your Texas Insurance?
No,
You are?
Yeah, I'm.
Is that, would that be an accurate statement?
I'm with Newkirk and Newkirk. We're representative with Newkirk and Newkirk. The agent couldn't be here, but he'll be available for any questions on, we did propose something.
I'm only asking to make sure the information was given to us that you consider it accurate.
Correct.
Okay.
At the second insurance meeting, between the two options, it's about $200 more per person per month. And I guess there were 7 or 8 employees at the meeting. And I asked them, I said, would you rather have a $200 a month pay raise, or would you rather have this plan with the lower deductibles? And it took them a while to think about that, but they were unanimous in the decision that they would rather have the plan with the lower deductibles and forego a $200 a month bump in their salary.
Yeah, that's kind of the catch-22, and these folks are trying to insure against something happening, and the staff needs to be protected that if it does happen, and we're talking about two variables that we don't know what's gonna be. And so if it's that $200 a month, but you know, I'm still looking at the actual claims that we have. The unknown that I don't know is, you know, I think I saw 5 claims last year, so of the other people that were out there, how many people are actually paying a deductible? And so is that $2,500 that, you know, deductibles had to be paid by staff or the district, and we're still paying $192,000 more a year for that lower deductible? So my question is, what would be the anticipated claims or losses that deductibles have to be paid? Pay us now or pay us later, that's what we're doing on Texas, on United, you know, it's pay us now, and Blue Cross Blue Shield, pay us later. So if we had any kind of an idea of expected claims
Okay.
that somebody had to spend
Yes.
$250 out of pocket, I don't want anybody to do that, but yet, if, maybe we need to, apart from this conversation, I really want to have a conversation about pay, wages, and what people are making. So, you know, Carlos, you can spend $250 out of pocket.
Right.
Noe and Joel can't as easily.
I
Not picking
made,
on anybody, I'm just using.
I did make an assessment a few years back when other board members were requesting that we compare our insurance to the school districts. So I really did the comparison, and I found out that our district, that can afford that insurance is 25%, and 75% can't. In comparison to the school district's pay, because the school districts pay, you know, they go up to 45, 50,000, and our employees, 75% of our employees are paid less than 40,000. I did that assessment a couple years back, but I can come back and do it again, but
But
it
that's a
seems like.
salary structure,
Yeah.
that, a pay structure that we need, I really want to visit.
Yes, and we
But
do
right
need to,
now,
because
and
we're
it-
losing a
and
couple
I
employees.
think everybody here would agree that insurance is a moving target. And so what we discussed last year is not necessarily what's going to be relative this year. I still have the question of how many of our staff actually had to pay any out-of-pocket expenses,
I
and
think
what that would come up to.
We had more claims this year where they did pay more out of pocket.
No, I'm not
I
talking,
know he had a number of claims.
how many
That's why
co-pays did staff have to pay?
Oh, possibly zero, because we're getting 100% on that one.
We've had, if I may.
Copay, go ahead.
Over here with, not about run with United Healthcare, and according to the documents you have on here, for co-payment
Okay.
wise, just the number of claims that we've had that have gone through either an office visit or a specialist.
Right,
you know,
right,
Primary care.
right.
Albert, could you come up here,
490
please?
490
Just
claims.
so it can be recorded correctly.
Okay.
We've had 490 claims this past year of just office visits on that side. Right now, from what United Healthcare is telling us, we've had 98% of paid claims towards versus your paid premiums. That's the reason why you're having an increase right now, because paid claims, you know, the claims are going up on there. Claims versus premiums at
So that
90%,
would-
98% right now. The reason for that percentage
Is that per claim or per year deductible?
The 98%, sir?
No, the 250 or the 500, the deductible.
That's per individual.
Per claim,
Yeah.
No, it's per individual per year.
per individual, per year.
Yes, sir.
So how can we've only got 80 employees, how do we have, so is that prorated, the 490?
No, sir, I think we got a little bit misunderstood here. The number of offices in co-payment co-payment is different than a deductible.
Co-payment.
Yes, so the number of co-payments alone is 490 services for that year. Deductible, like you have an amount of how many people have members? We don't have that amount of information for you, but we can gather for you and shoot it all over to you.
based on this, we've got, this is the utilization report. So it'll show us how many emergency room visits there's been. So when somebody hits the emergency room, you know that it applies towards your deductible. There's been 173 emergency room visits.
And how does that compare to last year? Is that, I mean, do you know the percentage
It
of
has
increase?
gone up, it has gone up over last year. Just your overall claims have gone up substantially over last year. So, like I said, last year, I think we probably had a minimal increase in terms of maybe 3.5%, 4%. And this year, again, since those claims have turned around from being on a good claims level or under 60%, now to where we're reaching 100% or over 100% on a monthly basis. So as of last month, when the reports United put forward, it was 122% over what your claim, what your premium payments were. So the company is paying out more than what they're coming in, what premium dollars are coming in.
That's a big increase.
Okay, staying with my train of thought, you say it was 173 ER visits, and that would have been the full copay,
That would have been your deductible.
Your deductible.
the deductible. In your case, it's $500,
250 through United.
250 through United, 250 United, you're 500.
Also, when we have options through Blue Cross.
Thank
as
you,
well.
keeping me straight. Okay, so that's 250. So I just took, it would have cost us $43,250 to go with you versus,
Blue Cross.
no, you,
United too.
you're 500 deductible.
But there are some differences in addition to that. When you have 500, like I said, deductible is one part of that. There's moving pieces to all of the health plan. You have different parts, as we mentioned. Deductibles are different from co-insurance. In addition to that $500 deductible, your co-insurance goes to 20%, where you're responsible for $3,000 out of pocket per individual coverage.
Okay, so I'm still working my simple math. Between the two proposals we have here tonight, based on the number of ER visits, it costs $43,250 more to go with Blue Cross. If that were the case, if we replicate next year, just using the same numbers that we did already. So I just took the 173 ER visits and assumed that was a full copay, and it's $250 more per
Right.
in-network for Blue Cross than it does United.
So that means it would cost more to have Blue Cross Blue Shield
So it costs
than...
$43,000 to be United, even though we're saving, now I gotta take that off the 192.
Right.
The total premium paid, that somebody's gotta pay it. And then we get into the other part where it's $10 on copay specialists, copay, and out of pocket and all that stuff. So then the biggest hick is the 3,000 out of pocket versus 1,750
Yep.
potential.
Right.
Just trying to be fair with everybody. So it's pay you less now, pay
More later.
them more now. And then if we need you, any of you in the future, if I need you in the future, it's gonna cost the district the additional in the copay and the out-of-pocket money. I guess the out-of-pocket money is the best way to look at it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the, for me, that's the factor that matters. Well, I mean, it all matters, but to me, if I have a high deductible, I would tend to not use the service as much. And that's my concern, because if we have employees that don't want to spend the money, and they're gonna put off something, then we might be looking at higher health costs down the road for that employee.
Yeah.
And that's how I think about it. I mean, I don't like paying any more than anybody else, but the fact of the matter is, I'd rather them spend the money on preventive care than other more serious care down the road.
Well, I understand that preventive care is after the fact of what you're describing. That's preventive care as far as you're going to go on and get a treatment because they are not afraid of the higher
Yeah, in other words, if they feel, if they don't feel well, they can go to the doctor.
Flip side of that, and I'm taking the hard side of the equation here is, they may be more likely to use it when they don't need to. Oil cures everything with tequila.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the other thing also to consider is the pay scale, you know. Not everybody's gonna have money like that set aside to just spend it on the doctor or a visit
That's a
or
separate
whatever.
conversation I
Yeah.
really want to have, that we do that. And so for me, I'm still boiling down from the fixed costs on the premiums between the two, United and Blue Cross, and then feeding back that difference between $192,000 between the two on an annual basis on the projected cost on the co-pays and total out-of-pocket money. And I don't have the crystal ball for that, but there's not a whole lot of difference between them.
Right. It's pay now or pay later, that's what it is. And then the employees would end up paying more out of their pockets if you go with the option number, I guess it's 2, right? Because of number 1.
I go, what Mr. Houston said has resonated with me when he asked staff. Of course, it was just a small portion of staff. We don't have a full consensus of staff. Would they rather have, you guys don't count. No, sorry, go ahead.
All right, let me just go step up there real quick.
Are you the union rep?
Pretty much I was asked to represent the employees on the insurance. And, first of all, we want to thank you guys for what you guys do out there. We know it's a balancing act, trying to save money, trying to stretch out that money. But let me just say, I've been here going on 25 years, and one of the reasons I've stuck around is because of the benefits. Every year, they get a little bit less, and I understand. You know, right now, we're upside down with the insurance, and I get that. It's not to say next year will be good, and it might go down, hopefully. But all the employees that are with me, I told them on the $200 like you did, and they all chose the insurance. They don't want the $200, because that'll go, first visit, could go. So I ask you guys to really think about this, because we got some good employees
Per
working.
month? $200 a month?
$200 a month, yes. I asked the employees about that, and they said, no, we'd rather have the insurance covered. Like I said, we have some good employees. We've lost some due to the pay. We'll lose some due to the benefits. And it takes us some time to mold and craft some of these employees, because different fields require different type of molding. The water plant, you guys that can think and react. Out in the field, same thing. Situation arises, pops up, you gotta be able to react quick. And to lose some guys that got that experience is really gonna hurt us. It's gonna slow us down in productivity. Here at the office, you got some quality people doing some quality work. We have an HR staff that's outstanding. They've done a lot of work trying to put this presentation together with the insurance, with them, get everybody. I think they've done a good job. Sometimes
I don't
they may
think,
not-
I don't have to, you don't have to sell me on the dedication of
Okay.
staff. And
What
I'm
I'm trying to
first.
tell you, I'm sorry, is that you reduce benefits, you're gonna lose some of that staff.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know,
But
and that's where we're at.
you all, and I'm glad you're all here and you're participating in this, because I think you're as concerned as I am when we got the report that the last few months we're upside down.
That's right.
So I think we need to be addressing some, I don't know what the concerns are or the issues are with why we have more sick people, injured people, or what's going on.
So I think.
I know there's cycles, but at the same time, I think it's responsible upon us to take and look at what is the cause or something that can be done about any of those added expenses.
Okay, looking at that, we have 5 claims, okay? You deduct the benefits for us. And we wait till something really happens. You might have 10 or 15 claims, major claims. Now you have emergency visits, you really, I mean, and like I said, I know it's a balancing act that you guys have to do, okay? But as a representative of staff, I would ask you to just think about it, accept the recommendation that staff has provided, and hopefully hope for a better year next year.
And back to you, I would ask staff to really address, if it can be identified, is why there's a spike in claims.
How can you do that? People get sick, people get ill, people get older.
I don't know, sanitize the
Exactly.
room.
I mean, you have to wave a magic wand that I
No,
don't have.
no, I'm not asking you that. I think that I'm asking to take you to do and visit what the potential problems are.
Right, well, what we are doing, like I said, with HR staff, they're bringing wellness teachings. It's about once every 6 weeks?
Yes, it's quarterly.
Quarterly? Okay. Today we had a stroke and
Prevention.
prevention.
Stroke prevention.
You know, so, and then they have brought in people that take our blood pressure, check our sugar levels and stuff like that at no cost. Right?
They got their phone. Vale Regional.
And we do health care. So we're trying to do preventive stuff.
I haven't heard you anything to say that you ought to include the board members on the insurance.
Well, there'll be a $250 deductible.
I can't afford it.
No, but again, I just ask you guys to really consider.
I hear you loud and
go with
clear.
that.
I
Thank
hear you
very
loud
much.
and clear.
Here's the way I look at this. We know we have to do better for our employees. I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
This is a small part of that investment towards that doing better. Saying that, I make a motion to approve staff's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Houston, a second by Mr. Avalos. All in favor?
Clarify the recommendation. That would be to keep United Healthcare through Texas Insurance.
To keep United Healthcare through Texas Insurance.
Is that the staff's recommendation and the committee's recommendation?
And including the health, the health, the dental, the life, all the way through, so you can get an additional package discount.
The bundle.
Okay, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for all the input, everybody. Thank you, Blue Cross. I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
Giving us that information. In the meantime, we'll
Thank
work
you,
to get our people healthier, and you work on getting our deductible down, and we're in business.
Thank you, sir. I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Eddie. Let them have it. The next one. Let them have it.
All righty, moving on.
Number 12.
Number 12, consider and discuss for possible approval of the financial reports for July 2018. Eddie?
Do you all have any questions about any questions about the financial reports?
I went through them, and thank you. The pie chart is pretty helpful. Like everybody, I noticed some of the down trim and some of our revenue and things like that, but
Yes.
I don't see anything that's, other water sales, that's the raw water sales.
Yes.
That would be the raw water sales, and so that's certainly by choice. It is what it is. Move to approve,
Second.
or accept, I guess. This is
Accept it.
it's approval of the financial report.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Motion made by D. Wells, second by Alex Avalos. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Consider and discuss for possible adoption of the budget for the fiscal year 2018, 2019. Eddie, once again.
Well, yes, so, this is the full budget, including the culmination of several meetings and workshops that we've all had and discussions with budget. I think we've already discussed a lot of the assumptions that went into making this budget. So if you have any questions.
This budget is based on the water rate study we did Or option
The
A,
revenue
option
that's
one, option
projected-
A, I don't remember now.
Yes, the revenue.
The revenue
projected,
portion of it,
uh,
projection
Is following the recommendations from the rate study.
from the rate study.
Mhm.
I move to approve.
Second?
We have a motion by D. Wells and a second by Mr. Houston. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Number 14, consider and discuss for possible adoption a resolution levying Laguna Madre Water District ad valorem tax rate for fiscal year 2018, 2019.
Based on the
So moved.
preponderance of public comments today, I second his motion.
All right, we have a motion by Alex Avalos, second by D. Wells. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Consider and review expenditures for August 16th through 31 of 2018.
Page 4 of 11, second column, Betty Narvel, Strong PC. I'm seeing, and my questions are to where, you know, that 21,805 column is for June and July, and then we have 21,806 and 21,890 for July. My question is, are those just different invoices that come in to the district during
That's on-
June and July?
That's correct.
And
That's
so
on the
these are-
monthly basis.
On a monthly
For-
basis, but we have same months being invoiced.
Yes.
Like I said, on that 21,805, we have June and July. And the next two, we have one column for June and one column for July.
Right. Okay, on this invoicing, I've seen that there's the regular board meetings and actions at the board meeting, and then there's another invoice for the
Work
same
we-
month, two
Work
invoices?
we asked them to do.
Yes, exactly. Especially
So
there's
that-
one
So they
that,
don't just give us one invoice for the month, they give us two invoices for the month based on work requested?
one especially for an ongoing court order that's been hanging in there from water plant number 2 with the company that legal counsel has been working on with that court issue that we've had at the water plant number 2 with a company, the contractor.
Okay,
was,
so really, it's just,
had liability for
it's
certain
it's
reasons.
invoice for work that the district requested from the company. And then the other one is just on regular invoicing. I'm still just
It-
understanding why we're getting two different invoices for,
That one, the one that I see is the regular, like you said, per month, and then the second one is, the court order has been going on, I think it's, legal issues with
yeah, but I think
Ferguson, and
I think in our,
that's why
sorry to
there's two.
interrupt, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think that just based on the number here, we're getting invoiced
Hmm?
on our regular monthly contract with them, actually some additional work that we've asked them to do
Yes,
here, apart from what you're talking about, water plant number 2.
yes, that's additional, yes.
So it's not just the month, the meeting
Right,
fee that
it's
we're
not-
paying, but we say, okay, go do this for us.
Mhm.
That's invoiced there.
Yes,
And then the other part is related to other work that the district has requested for that.
right, yes.
If we just got rid of them, we could
Two.
pay the insurance and everything.
Yep.
I-
Oh, he's
you
not
asked
here
my
today, huh?
questions, Thank you.
He's not-
No, I can talk
Well,
about it.
I
He's
guess
not
we're
here.
gonna-
It's
there's no
recorded,
pay.
but there's no way to
There's
look.
no pay today. So, that's good, I like that. And I try to ask questions when he's here, not on the phone, because it's more expensive.
I move we accept as presented.
Second.
We have a move by Mr. Houston, second by D. Wells. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. With that, looks like we're done. Adjournment.
Thank you.